All right, welcome to the weekly beginning market analysis for 11 April. What we're going to do tonight is go over setups that we see for the week, and then we will be updating you as usual every night with your daily market analysis. All right, so first pair we're going to go over is going to be AU. So looking at AU, they have dropped 286 pips, right? Coming up here, ADR is 67, so we'll do 70 for easy math. 70 times 3, 210. So they have exceeded the ADR times 3 and pulled up some to the 200 EMA and have made their way back down. We know that the beginning of the week, Sunday going into Monday, is false move week beginning, so I'm expecting them to come back down or continue down, right, to retest this leg right here, this moon, before pulling up for the real trend. And then we can expect 2 to 3 days of rise from there. All right, so until then, we're going to sit. You see they're almost down to this point now. We're going to sit aside. Usually don't trade Sundays, very rarely Mondays, and see how they behave once they get down to this low, if they make it down this far. All right, moving on to EJ. So they have so far pushed up 220 pips. ADR is 68. Again, we'll do 70 for easy math. That's 210. What did I just say that? How much they pushed up?
210. Oh no,
220. So yes, they have exceeded the ADR times 3. Issued us a sun, and if you look at the RSI, TDI has closed just below the top Bollinger Band, right? And they came down, issued a second leg, and it has respected that high, has not exceeded this first leg, and they issued us a star. TDI is at the 50 EMA now, so we're expecting them to drop very soon.
Oh my goodness.
And they've already done that. I expect them to come back and retest during London. They might not, just looking at how strong that shift is. So this one might be a no trade for us. I do not like trading on Sundays. So if they do not come back up to retest this tomorrow or Tuesday, this will be a pass for us. So that's what we're expecting them to retest, the high, and then drop. Will, did you catch that?
Yeah, for the most part.
Okay. So I'll go back over it on the 4-hour time frame. Looking at ADR is 68. So we'll do ADR times 3. The 70 times 3, that's 210. So from this low, they pushed up 1, 2, 3, and then 4 levels, right, giving us 220 ADR. So that's their ADR times 3. They've exceeded it on the 4-hour time frame. They have issued us a sun. TDI has closed just below the top Bollinger Band, right, came down, blew past the 50 EMA, popped outside the bottom Bollinger Band and back up to the 50 EMA, giving us a star. So this is a huge M right here. What we're expecting is for them to come back up. I'll go to the 1-hour time frame now. Golly, that dropped a lot. I said that. Oh no, it didn't. What we're expecting is for them to come back up and retest. I was saying that looking at how strong this shift candle is, they might not come back up and retest this level. They might come back up to the mid Asian line, right? This is the middle of Asian session, and then continue dropping. If they do that, that will be a pass for us. I do not trade Sunday because Sunday going into Monday is the false move, and we lost them. All right, moving on to UF.
We just have to keep going, I guess.
Yep. Moving on to UF. So ADR is 60. All right, so ADR times 3 will be 180. Go to the top, the peak formation down to the low, and we're looking at 230. So they have exceeded the ADR times 3. So we're looking for a long position. They on the first leg, you see TDI is closed below the low level line and just above the Bollinger Band. They've come up to the 13 EMA railroad track and back down, giving us a second leg. And you see on the second leg, TDI has hit that red EMA and is on its way up. What I'm anticipating is for them to come down, right, for the false move week beginning to retest the low and then pull up for their real trend. All right, those are my 3. I'm gonna pass it off to Nick so he can go over his pairs.
All right, here we go. You all right?
I just had a stroke there.
You okay? All right. What's going on here?
I'm gonna change it.
All right. Well, we're going with the test template for this webinar, so bear with us.
Just right click it.
Oh, you got it. Okay. Yeah. 1 second.
Go down to mobile. Yep.
Let me just 1 second. Let me get this admin done real quick.
Bro, I changed that. No idea.
Lies. Absolute lies. There we go. Changed that one, I guess. All right. Anyway, so here we go. All right. So just a quick recap over last week, right? Last week we had a pretty significant week of drop, right? This was the false move week beginning, right? And then it just fell for the whole week. And we caught a lot of that, right? We had a pretty good week with GU last week. So as we've talked about before, right? Measuring the ADR times 3, right? ADR is, let's call it 90. That's what it was at the end of last week. We're currently at 246. So anticipating one more day of drop to start the week off with our false move week beginning. So I expect them to drop tonight. I do think that there's a possibility that could not happen, and they could just start moving up, which is part of the reason we don't trade Sundays, because the false move is kind of weird that way sometimes, right? So we will see what they do tonight, right? If I had to put my money somewhere though, it would be short. So we'll see how that works out. If that happens, it'll come as a M formation out of the London session, right? And then probably pinning the 50 EMA in the mid range on the Asian box, this mid Asian level here. So that'll give us and move us into our 3 days of rise. That I'm looking for significant rise for 2 days, followed by one small rise, and then to end the week short, pretty hard to end the week, right? Giving us our overall downtrend still, but then they're going to need to go take some money back from last week. If we look at the D1 chart, right, the day chart, that's supported, right? They've dropped for 4 days straight right now, right? And then on the week chart, we've had 2 weeks straight of just straight drop. So expecting them to start off by coming back into hit some stops, but overall trend is down still. More to follow after the false move week beginning. All right. Well, that was unexpected. So GJ also last week, a lot of movement down. We were anticipating that starting the week off. ADR times 3. Let's take a look at it real quick. Our ADR value for GJ is 120, right? If we come down peak to peak, right, we have blown the ADR out. We're at about 375, so not blown out, but a little bit more than 3 times ADR. So we're our bias is now looking for buys. Looking for buys on GJ, right? Pretty exclusively, as long as the 4-hour chart and the day chart continue to support that, right? So the day chart buys are supported, and the 4-hour chart buys are supported for now. They could continue down, right? Because they did this little, I don't know, let's call it a fake out move, making people think that they were going long, right? And I could see this as a potential reset and them continuing to push down another couple 100 pips this week. So really, right, we're gonna have to see the way they behave based off this first day of the trading week, right? Because we did not have any kind of real reversal back into the range at the end of the week on either GU or GJ. That kind of throws a wrinkle or a cloud, I should say, into our ability to read the market. So we're just going to exercise a little patience and see what the market makers decide to give us. All right, EG, this one's a lot more clear, right? We are still looking for buy positions. Excuse me, I take that back. We're going to be looking for potential sell positions for a couple of days, right? We've finished a, really strong trend, right, to the high, right? ADR is 52, so ADR times 3 is 150. At the current peak, we're at about 220, right? So completely blown out of the water, ADR times 3. So we're looking for a correction, at least 2 days of drop to present itself. So we'll see how they decide to come and paint outside of the Asian session into the London. We'd be looking for M's only, no W's, especially with this peak over here that they have given us. Look at the 1-hour chart again, right? Especially with this potential peak formation coming up here. Looking for sells only on this, no buys. Okay, I'm going to pull up UC one more time. Just so we can hit that. All right, we've been following this UC pair. Let's let it load in for potential long-term buy. Right, so they've done like I talked about, right? We talked about them coming up to pin the 50 EMA and then starting its drop down into the second leg. They've already started that, so we're looking for them to give us at least 1 to 2 more days of drop down into this range. That would be ideal for us to start looking for buys somewhere in this range. So we'll see how they behave tonight and over the next couple of days, and we'll keep you updated on that. As with every other day, if you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out to us in the group chat or direct message us in the Discord app. Otherwise, do you have anything else for them?
No, that's it. Y'all have a good night.